around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They've been buoyed by getting 2 home games right at the start, and they come off a good victory in week 1.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they come into this one after a loss in the opener, and they're in for another tough test here.
And what a battle for an organization to look at your schedule and see 2 road games to start the season and not have a letdown immediately. You got to fight against that. They've got to come out ready to play.
This will be taken in at the 1. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. Leading the charge at quarterback, the former Georgia Bulldog, Matthew Stafford.
If you just break it down in individual terms, he played really well last week. 0 interceptions, 3 touchdown passes. Not a whole lot more he could have done to win that game. But you know something's funny, when we talked to him, all he focused on were throws he missed, other opportunities that didn't get done.
Good sign of a leader.
Great sign of a leader because they didn't win, and that's all he cares about.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. To throw again. Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Here now the starters defensively for the Vikings. They were very good in the win over Dallas a week ago.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Out of the gun, Stafford. This is Johnson. He's got it. 15 yards for the Lions there on a 1st down.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great, and they're fun. They become a little more ho-hum, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. And I know that it sounds like we're taking credit away from the guys, and we don't mean that at all. They really work hard on this one-handed catch thing, but I think the gloves have to be helping in a big way.
For Johnson, the numbers for his performance from last week, 19 carries, 77 yards.
Well, watching the film, we saw that things clicked pretty well for them in the running game last week. No reason to change in my mind. Continue to try and run the football, give it to him early and often in hopes of breaking down the defense so some bigger gains result as the game goes on.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
And that's a run that will energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
A 1st down carry here for Johnson. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 27-yard line.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this 1st drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
And now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? From the 24, Stafford is going to flip one out here to his running back. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 14. Stafford going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. Stafford now to throw. He'll get this one to Galladay. It's another 10 yards on that one and another first down. And how about this first drive? They're being aggressive, slinging it around.
Really confident, too, because they're not trying to fool them with running plays, throwing it, and they're being very successful right now.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Lions take it right down and score on the opening drive. Bullock good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And the touchdown run came from Kerryon Johnson to cap things off. This is taken at the 3. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So here come the Vikings as they get set for their first drive. And a glance at the tall signal caller, standing 6'6".
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing. Lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
He had the start to a season a week ago that everybody wants to have, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Can he do it a second time?
He can. He absolutely positively can because of the skill set. When people adjust to him, he has a great ability to adjust himself and make them continue to chase him throughout the game.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Carmichael. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. That one good for 26 and a first down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so Many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Now Cook running right. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. A nice pickup of 6 there to get him closer to the end zone, and it'll be 2nd and goal. So 2nd and goal, and standing by himself in the backfield, Barkley. He's going to get it running right, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Saquon Barkley, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kicks away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25. A couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Now Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hawkinson. And he coughed it up, and the Vikings pick up the football. And they're going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score, and a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower postgame. Extra point right down the middle, and that makes the score 14-7. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kicks away following that fumble return. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 26. They begin the drive with Johnson. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33. The Lions with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. Through 1 quarter, 14-7 our score. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
Almost outkicked his coverage there. 48-yard punt, but 10 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. So here are the Vikings to take over. Last week they got a good victory over the Dallas Cowboys, and they are in the driver's seat here right now as well.
90 Wolf.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end.
On 1st and 10, Carmichael. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Operating from the gun, Carmichael. And Diggs has it. Touchdown, Vikings! Stephon Diggs, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Kenny Golladay making his way back onto the field with the rest of this offense. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Off of play action. Here's Stafford. Blitz coming, and down he goes. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 21 yards there on third down. Stafford now, only one pass has hit the ground for him. 10 of 11 thus far. It's 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Calais Campbell on the stop.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
He doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. And some room to maneuver. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit. A huge play there on the screen pass. 71 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yes, now second and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
He'll get this out to Barkley, complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Saquon Barkley. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but his top 2 options were not available on that throw, so he went the safe route. Worked out pretty well.
It was like you were in the pocket. How about you going through the progressions like that? But a lot of offenses say touchdown to check down. Look downfield first, bring it back to the line of scrimmage. Not easy for a rookie to do. Oftentimes they get one look, and they make their decision off of that. He went through 3. That was impressive.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. Now a hit and a loose football. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Herb Smith Jr., his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
Now the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, if there got to be casualties at times, we're trying to win a game.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. A shotgun snap for Stafford. Wide open receiver complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. Now this throw caught left side. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 23 yards on the play. Stafford now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. To throw again. Stafford. And he comes back with one complete. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 31-yard line. Stafford now 14 out of 17, 82%. And it's 1st and 10. Here's Stafford. Quick hitter here. It's complete. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Stafford looks to throw again.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. And he'll be brought down with the 1st down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
Goal line offense, something they've really been emphasizing in practice lately. Now they have a chance here to put all that hard work to use. Stafford. That's caught. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime.
Brendan, they didn't get everything they wanted out of that play, but the tight end did. And I don't mean it in a positive way. Great job of him holding on after absorbing that big hit.
And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On the carry, it's Bawden. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Nick Bawden, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Lions are able to draw a bit closer.
Well, that touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in the second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the 2nd quarter strong. A little bit of time left. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And how about the start so far, Charles? 3 first-half touchdown passes.
And that's how you generate excitement on a team. Keep your offense moving at a really high level. And it's also how you establish leadership by playing that well. 3 touchdown passes, that's the way to lead.
Now he's just hoping for number 4. Throwing to start the drive. Carmichael open here, Adam Thielen. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Back to throw. Carmichael. It's complete to Diggs. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. From the gun, Carmichael. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Carmichael. There goes a deep ball. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Darius Slay with a pick. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Carmichael gets this out to Saquon Barkley. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working.
And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. The ex-Iowa Hawkeye Mike Daniels in for the sack. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback. And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
And he's got his tight end. That's Smith. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. The 3 red zone trips, 3 touchdowns so far. They'll look for a 4th on 2nd and goal. Looking to throw. Carmichael. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. That touchdown, Charles, the first rushing TD of his rookie year.
I don't know that he's going to be Lamar Jackson or Russell Wilson or Josh Allen at this stage of his career, but he's got youth on his side. Those young legs, he put them to good use there, didn't he?
Point after, right down the middle, and that'll increase their lead to 28. That time a 6-play drive, and it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
On third down, Stafford. It's caught. Jones. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. A good pickup there, a 22.
Nice catch right there. It brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Back to throw, Stafford. And his pass incomplete.
NFL quarterbacks work so hard on their mechanics, and they do so much repetition in practice, off-season, the whole deal. They expect it to be autopilot once the games start. That way it eliminates any type of pressure of the game, pressure of people in your face, all of that. That didn't shine through on that throw, though, did it?
No. A little bit of a dangerous pass and off target, too. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. Touchdown, Detroit. Kenny Galladay, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. He has been consistent, hasn't he? He played well in the first quarter, good second quarter, and now continuing that here in the third.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, no errors, right? Not turning it over, and just doing all the right things. That's leadership, and it inspires confidence in a team.
Yeah, been a good leadership and a good distributor. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Safe.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. But he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Back to the ground, this time Cook. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
To throw on 2nd down, Carmichael. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against the zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. And he's able to find Diggs.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Back to throw, Carmichael. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
He's got Smith here.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 41.
Pilot, 64, weak.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Check my 40. Hey, I'm coming.
Big grip.
A first down carry for Barkley. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this fourth quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off the game.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. On 2nd down, here's Barkley. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Vikings on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This time it's 3rd and 3. Looking to throw. Carmichael. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions 14.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. The intended target, Saquon Barkley, but it'll be 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. And he's got it. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
And Barkley will try to punch it in, and this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage, after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
Back to throw. Carmichael. And that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. They were still here late complete, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. He'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a first down.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. To throw again, Stafford. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. They've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. This is 3rd and 10. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
They're going draw play. Stafford to Johnson. Only 3 yards on the pickup. They'll be left staring at a 3rd and 14.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
The Lions on 3rd down. Can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Throwing is Stafford. He'll get this one to Galladay. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. Here's Randy Bullock now as he'll go for the field goal. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Now, he's been a busy man out of the backfield. Has looked his way quite a bit so far in this game.
Nice job there defensively, though, adjusting, because a couple of his earlier catches, he was wide open. Not that time.
You mentioned the key word, adjustment. A better cover man on him now in space.
That one looks like he'll throw here. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 30 before being taken down. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. From the gun, Carmichael. He'll let this go for the end zone. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
And Stafford's going to be taken down. That's a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does them in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now defensively they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And he's going to be ripped down by the face mask at the end of this, and that's going to add 15 more onto the end of this thing. Tack on 15 more for the face mask, and that becomes a huge play.
Big pass gets caught on you. You're doing everything possible to get him on the ground, and sometimes you end up grabbing the face mask.
Setting up the screen for Cook. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss out.
And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule, because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
The extra point splits the uprights. A fourth quarter score now from Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. The Steelers, they've scored, and they've swung back in front. Ben Roethlisberger, good game throwing the ball, over 300 passing yards. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches, be honest, don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Detroit. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Minnesota, they used a favorable early schedule to their advantage as they move to 2-0. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Lions, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.